Hey, how's it going?
Hey man, what's up? How are you doing?
Not too bad. Just finished some breakfast.
Where about you are again?
California.
Oh, all right, all right. Yeah, it's like 8:30 then, right?
Yes.
Cool, cool, cool. Guys, real quick for the stream, can you guys hear him just fine? If either of us is loud, please let me know so I can adjust it because I can't hear like my own microphone, obviously. Anyway, did you end up winning that game?
I didn't. It was the weirdest Terran game I've ever played. He went Marine Marauder
Uh-huh.
with Stim Pack, and then he basically took every base on the map, and I just kept running around trying to catch up with him. It was weird.
Yeah, because you said you were joining the game like 20 minutes
Wait
ago.
a minute.
I
Yeah,
figured it was a long one.
yeah. No, it was a weird one. Eventually, I just GG'd out. It was just going. It was gonna go long.
All right, I see. Thank you, by the way, Sleeger, for the resub, dude. Anyway, yeah, sometimes it's better to just call it quits and not get like demotivated for the rest of the of the day.
Yup.
All right. Oh, you do actually play quite a bunch of games. That's good. Nice.
I would look through. It looks like maybe 10 to 20 a week.
Yeah, actually, over the last couple of days, you've been playing more than that, but
Well, I was trying to prepare.
nice. All right, that's good though. That's actually very helpful because at least you got like a pretty good understanding of where you're at right now, then, right?
Yep.
I actually just looked at the email you sent me a little while ago where you like showed me the win rates back then. I believe you were like rank 60 gold or something. So right now you're a rank 13 gold. That's already improvement. Haven't looked at the stats yet, but rank 18.
Yeah, I've been towards top gold, but then it sort of fluctuates a bit up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually wrote down answers to most of the questions you usually ask people, so I can go through those if you want.
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right, so I play about 10 to 20 a week. In HOTS, I was high silver, then high gold, and Legacy of the Void, I was low gold, high gold. So I've played about 4 seasons worth of StarCraft 2.
Uh-huh.
My goal is to not feel dread when I'm facing Terrans, and
Alright.
hopefully be able to break out a gold league.
Alright.
My hotkeys, I use standard. I made a couple of changes. I've changed tilde, which is the one to the left of the numbers, to be all army, although I don't use it as much.
Uh-huh.
Spacebar rotates through my bases. I put my main army on 1, flyers on 2, spellcasters on 3, all my queens on 4, hatcheries on 5, and then I usually put my Evo chambers on 0. I don't use camera hotkeys, but I do use Shift plus number and Alt plus number to do hotkey stuff.
All right.
For queens, I use the hotkey method. So I select the queens, I use spacebar and then Shift B.
Uh-huh.
The options I've changed, I've got mouse sensitivity to 40%, cursor size 75, scroll speed 69 for all 3 of those.
Mm-hmm.
I've got build grid enabled, show alerts enabled, enemy unit selection enabled, select all larva disabled, because I really didn't like that.
Uh-huh.
And then my general strategy is overall I try to play macro, and I aim to win during sort of medium to late game. CVP, I'm pretty confident. Usually I go 17 hatch before gas, then pool speedlings into Roach Ravager, Hydra, then Ultra, and then Cracklings.
Mhm.
Recently I've been trying to go more Broodlords and Cracklings. CVT is by far the one I feel the worst about. Whenever I face bio, it usually goes badly. But my usual strategy is 17 hatch before gas, then pool speedlings into Roach Ravager. Usually I go Corruptor if they have lots of medevacs. And then usually I try to go Ultra Cracklings, but recently I've again been trying to go more Broodlords Cracklings.
Sure.
And ZVZ, usually my games end within the first 5 minutes. So I knew usually I would lose, but I'm getting better at sort of the micro stuff. I usually go 14-14 Speedlings and Banes, just because I have to, into Roach Ravager, Hydra, Lurker, if the game ever lasts that long.
All right. Damn, we just saved ourselves like 20 minutes, man. Like that's
what I figured.
Yeah. I actually got practically the same hotkey setup, except that I use grid, and you seem to have switched around the hatchery and the or like the hatchery hotkey and the queen hotkey. But other than that, it's like exact same thing. So that's cool. Other than that, it sounds really solid. Yeah, cool, nice.
All right, so should I find some replays?
Yeah, I'm just gonna head really quickly to your current statistics, so we have like something to compare.
Go for it.
All right, yeah. So your Zerg versus Terran has actually upped a little in the last couple weeks. I believe you first messaged me like a month and a half or so ago. ZVP is currently 57%, ZVT 52%, and ZVZ is actually 37%. I recently did a bunch of coaching sessions for ZVZ. I don't know if you watched those by any chance. I haven't actually uploaded too many coaching sessions to YouTube lately, but I'm sure like if you watched the stream lately and you've seen some coaching, you may have come across it. Yeah, like it's a lot of practice, honestly. Like ZVZ is rough because it's just, you know, a difficult matchup.
Usually what ends up happening is I, at some point, decide to start droning up, and I drone too much, and then I lose.
All right. Yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, if you have any kind of particular questions about that, that's all good. We can focus on ZVT first, and then maybe if we have some time left over or whatever, we can jump into some Zerg for the Zerg.
That sounds good.
All right, nice. So you say you most of the time play a Roach Ravager into Corruptor type style, right? Do you have any particular specific builds that you're using currently, or?
No, when I was playing HOTS, I would use your Roach with +1/+1, and that worked out really well for me. Since I started playing Legacy of the Void, that didn't work initially, and so now I'm playing a bit more loose and fast, which might be a disadvantage.
All right, all right, cool. Yeah, there's definitely been a whole lot of changes regarding that, but yeah, we can go over that. Cool. I've actually been using Solar's build. He's like he's probably, besides Dark, regarded as the best player right now in you know, the Zerg race, I suppose. And he plays Roach Ravager all the time, so his like games are really good to study. He basically plays like 50% Mutiling Bane and like 50% Roach Ravager, and I always try and look at his games and see how he responds. So he tends to play a lot of Roach Ravager into Infestor type styles, but I think Corruptors are a fine addition as well. Like honestly, Infestors require a ton of micro, and I think most of the games are probably winnable by just focusing on macro.
Yeah, that's been my concern about Infestors, which is why I barely ever build them. I've been trying to get better at building Vipers, especially if there's lots of siege tanks. But I find the Vipers are hard to use too.
Yeah. I think Corruptors are a little bit of the safer idea. So basically, the idea of Infestor is like you fungal, for example, a dropship, and then you use the corrosive bile to kill it. Which obviously you need to, like, you know, be pretty fast for it to actually execute it. It's like really cool if you manage to pull it off, but Corruptors are a little easier.
I was watching some of the games from the recent, it was either in the IEM or WCS, where Snoot was playing Pult. And he was doing really well with speedlings to sort of trap the army and then use corrosive biles. So that's one of the reasons why I've been trying to build more lings now as well, together with my Roach Ravager, to try and get a surround on them and then sort of just lock them in place. All
right, cool.
So generally what I've found in my CVT games when I lose, when I go back and look at the replays, usually for sort of a good chunk of the game, I'm below economy-wise, and I'm guessing that's probably why I end up losing.
Okay.
And I think that's what happens in this game. So my I renamed this replay to Sucky Terran game. So it's probably not going to be a good game for me, is my guess.
Alrighty then. Yeah, did you play this one recently or?
Yeah, this was like a couple of days ago.
Okay. So yeah, mine is a couple supply block. Like you actually had a pretty big supply block at 36 supply, which adds up very quickly. But other than that, it looks really, really solid. I like the amount of Zerglings you made as well initially. Maybe they were a little early. But I don't think these kind of things matter really too much in the grand scheme of things later on. One of the things you usually can do, and I don't know if you're gonna like follow this up with it. Yeah, like I was hoping these Zerglings would move out a little further. Basically, as soon as link speed finishes up in Zerg vs Terran, it's always worth having them move around the map. Primarily speaking, because you can actually go ahead and use them for like map control. So right now, basically, you wouldn't know until Hellions would arrive on your side of the map until like they're basically right inside of Overlord vision.
Right.
Which is a little scary. So usually it's a little better to, like, as soon as you have link speed, to at least see if you can maybe put a Zergling right there or maybe one right there just to have some sort of vision out, okay? So that's true for all matchups pretty much. Like as soon as you hit link speed, try and like have the links at least take control of the map, okay? So that's like a minor thing. It's not like the top priority, I would say, but it's something useful that if you start paying attention to it, you can incorporate it in your games really easily and have a lot more knowledge.
Yeah, scouting is definitely something I've been poor at, and I've been trying to work on it, which is why recently I've been getting Overlord speed almost every single game, just to try and sort of send my Overlords through their bases more often.
Nice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so basically, as soon as Zergling speed finishes, move the links around the map. And that's true for all matchup. I put it down like beneath the Zerg versus Terran little tab here, but that is like, you know, something good to keep in mind. Now, the very first thing to notice is that you go indeed for like the 2-base play into a really quick lair, right? And I think this is good back in the Heart of the Swarm days. I can notice like this is exactly the build that's like really common back in Heart of the Swarm, right? And it's by no means is it bad. I just think you could probably get away with a little bit more economy first off, which may very well be the reason why you're losing out a little later on into the game. What I can do is just give you the exact build of what's his name, Solar, that he follows up pretty much all of the games. So I'll actually go ahead and like copy paste that in the document. And for anyone wondering, I'll post a link to it as well in the stream chat, in case you were wondering about it. But basically it means that you're gonna go ahead and get a couple of safety roaches first, as well as a 3rd base and a whole lot more economy, and then you eventually get a lair going. And the idea behind that is that, like, let's say they go for Liberator harassment, or they go for really heavy Hellion play, you're still gonna be just fine as far as the early game defense goes, because right now it's pretty common for Terran players to go ahead and Liberator harass. I don't know if you have any issues with it, but it's
not too much.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, if you know, if you have a couple of roaches out, you can basically hold all the aggression. But we can go over that build order in depth in a little bit. It will basically allow you to, if you play it properly, and we can do like maybe a bit of a practice game with it, but if you play it properly, you can actually max out roughly, I believe it's 7.5 minutes into the game, which is like if you like execute it perfectly, right? But it's,
yeah, I'm usually not maxed out at 7.5 minutes. So.
Yeah, no, I don't expect you to be, but you know, it's a good goal to aim for, right? So it may make it a little bit easier. Either way, that's like a build order change that I probably would recommend, just because you don't really need a super quick lair in Legacy to avoid as long. You can get a couple of Ravagers. Ravagers are really nice. I like the 4 queens though, and the really heavy droning. That's really good. That's really nice. Okay, and then we see the 3rd base. All right, so it's actually not super late or anything. That's actually still nice. If I would actually see this right now as a Terran player, I'd probably assume you're gonna play Mutas or something, because there's such a quick lair going up. But
well, that could work to my advantage.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I rarely go Mutas.
Yeah, I think you could probably get away with playing Roach Ravager exclusively. All right, so is there any particular reason why you went for 8 roaches? Is that like a number that you feel comfortable with, or?
No, it's just, I think however long I held down the button.
All right, okay, no worries. Yeah, let's yeah, we can probably just put that in the build exactly. Basically, I would not recommend getting any more than 4 initially, and about this many Zerglings initially as well. So I like the Zergling count. The Roach is probably a little heavy, but as long as you you know, don't lose too many of them, I guess it's fine. All right, nice little bit of defending. And there we go, a couple of Ravagers. All right, yeah. So I hope you're gonna drone up that 3rd completely now. That would be nice. Oh, free Liberator. Nice. 3 scans, 1,000 minerals down the drain for nothing. Great job.
Yeah,
you actually go for the melee upgrades, huh?
Yeah, I think it's because I'm going for the late game and I want to try and get into the ultras.
Okay.
But yeah, I think this is where I don't drone up heavily enough in all my bases.
Yeah,
well, it's
so
not looking too bad yet. But
no, it's definitely still really solid. I think the one thing we're sort of missing out on here is the really solid timing, like basically the same one as in Heart of the Swarm, right? With +1/+1 and roach speed.
Yep.
And like maybe a couple of workers. So I think you drone up really greedily, which is good. You could probably get away with a couple more. But like as a general rule of thumb, just less like when the Zergling speed finishes, try and move across the map with the Zerglings. The same idea is like whenever you make roaches and you make any more than like 5 at a time, make sure you have 3 base saturation, okay? So like before you're thinking about, okay, what the fuck should I do right now? I guess I'll make roaches, right? When you think about that, when you think in that direction, just instead look at your base and be like, okay, do I actually have all my gases saturated? Do I have all my, do I have enough drones on minerals? So as long as you be in that mindset, I think you should be fine. So yeah, basically, before making a big amount of units, make sure to get 3 base saturation. Now, I'm not saying it's bad in this game by any means. Like, actually, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here he comes in. Yeah, so we miss a lot of vision, right?
Right.
All right. Yep. Should be able to just run over this. Yeah, there we go.
So there you can see what I was talking about with the lings.
That's actually very good. Nice. Alrighty. Yeah, I haven't played much Roachling Ravager myself, so I can't really give you any really solid pointers on it. I know that a lot of players do really like doing it.
It was mostly for me as a kind of a replacement for what the Infestor would do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it won't help with the medevacs, but...
Yeah, like oftentimes you still get a lot of value out of those as well. He's actually playing very little in medevacs so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now the main thing here though is that we've just like not really spent the larva. That's kind of the main thing. That's okay though. Yeah, I'm not gonna like
I'm floating a lot of minerals.
Yeah, so one of the things that's like consistently in this game is like not having a ling at the front, okay? So as soon as that thing dies, always try and have something in place to like see when he's moving out. Because otherwise like he's probably gonna move out. Oh, maybe he's just headed towards the 4th base, I don't know. But like you really want to try and keep track of where the Terran player is moving. So yeah, the droning up is very good. I think actually the infestation pit timing is also very solid. And I think, you know, you should probably just be able to max out here immediately. But having vision of where they are moving is so valuable. So we'll actually focus on that as well. So have a ling at the front.
Yep.
Yeah, this bank is easy to spend though. You got a ton of larva.
I don't know why I'm not.
I'm not sure either. I'm kind of trying to figure it out. But
that's the thing about replays. You're like, what am I doing?
There we go. Come on, spend this. We got all the larvae. You're not missing any injects.
Yeah, usually my injects are pretty good.
Yeah, no, your injects are really good. You got. Well, there you go. I think you should probably reinforce with more Zerg, or with more roaches instead. Like I think we can probably work on a hive transition towards Ultralisk and go for the Adrenal Glands rather than the +2 upgrades for the Zerglings. I think going missile upgrades makes a little more sense. And then like when you're at 2-2, you can start getting the +1 attack as well for melee. But yeah, I think you could easily spend all your army if you would just play mass Ling. Like the idea is or sorry, if you play mass Roach Ravager. So the idea of Roach Ravager is that it's not just like a little easier to control their Mutiling Bane, but that you also don't need to worry about injects as much. Just because like your resources are going to be spent really easily anyway, right?
Right.
So I think we should probably... I like the idea though. I like the fact that you're testing it out. You know, that's always very good. If you have a lot of larvae left over, that's fine. But yeah, I think we should probably focus on a little bit more Roach Ravager heavy. And then... you know, set up a good timing attack with +1/+1 and Roach speed, and then always having like a Zergling at the front. At least that's the 3 things I'm gathering so far. So have a ling at the front, solid +1/+1 speed timing attack, and what's the last thing I mentioned? Oh yeah, Roach Ravager. Yeah, so I actually really like the fact the way you're playing. Don't get me wrong. The 3rd base timing was a little later than ideal, but like you drone it up really greedily. Hive timing was solid as well, and like in general, the idea is definitely, you know, looking very solid. Just a little bit of optimization, but I think you can quite easily pull that off. That looked really like that's like dry Zerg humor right there. It's like just rolling down a ramp and just killing all of his bio when he's not watching. Yeah, so there we go. All right. Yeah, I don't know if you had another one prepared as well. We can have a look at one more and just see if it's the same ideas there as well.
Yeah, I do have one. I think that one went a little bit better, so maybe that will make me feel a bit better about my play.
Losing is fine. Against Danik. By the way, guys, we are going to need some people to play against. So if any gold level Terran wants to help us out, it is Group LowkoTV on the North American server. So if you guys want to join in, that would be awesome. Probably in about, I don't know, 20 or so. But if you could join the group already, that would be helpful. All right, so I'm going to be looking for the scouting link. I'm going to be looking for the timing attack. And then I'm going to be looking at the general army composition, I suppose.
Right.
So far, Grandmaster level easy.
Yeah, this game I don't remember too much, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But I called it a decent Terran game, so.
All right. Yeah, so right here you do move out right as link speed finishes. Like, notice at this point, right? If you would compare it to the previous game, I mean, it's very obvious when you look at it from a replay point of view, right? But just notice how much more vision you have, right?
Right.
You basically know exactly what's going on right as you get to, well, right here, right? Even though you don't need to do any damage, you don't really need to work. You went for a really fast widow line. But anyway, like, at least you have an idea of what's happening. You don't have to worry very much. Do you have a second monitor by any chance so I can copy paste the build order to you?
Yes.
All right, here. Let me just copy paste it on Skype real quick. Well, what we'll do is, like, after this one, just jump into a custom and walk through it a single time. And just, like, walk through the different kinds of things, but just so you can, like, look at it yourself as well if you want to.
Yeah.
It's basically a much faster third base and a later lair. But it comes down to the exact same timing from Heart of the Swarm with +1/+1 and roach speed. Except that you go a little more gas heavy and get the, you know, the upgrades a little sooner as well. So, like, remember when you started up the lair and you start up the Evo chambers at the same time?
Right.
It's basically the same idea here. So, really good droning here once again. Those drones being absolute ballers and killing Marines.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the droning. Like, the droning is really good. Most of the time, whenever I coach a lot of people up to, like, I don't know, high platinum, they don't drone greedy enough in Terran versus Zerg. Like, this is very slow.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of your coaching, and you've basically said, like, it's always okay to lose a game if you drone too much. And actually, I do lose a lot of games because I drone too much.
That's fine.
And
man.
I think that's combined with poor scouting, because basically they hit me with a timing attack just as I spent all my lava on 20 drones, right?
Yep, makes sense. So I like the creep spread as well. I mean, you have a lot of vision because you have a lot of vision because of that creep spread. I really would like to see a move out though. Right when +1/+1 finished, I think you had a really good timing to move across the map.
Right.
I think that would probably help out a lot. So here we go. Oh, takes a couple more shots to kill him. Yeah, so we're also flooding a lot of resources again. That's because you get such a sick eco. Alright, yeah, so it's pretty much the same things, okay? I mean, we can look at the game. I guess we can finish the game. We adding some banelings again. Yeah, so general tip, I guess, for engaging siege tank is, like, either commit or don't go at all, right? So, like, if you dance back and forth, it's really, well, unless you catch them on siege, I guess. But in general, like, it's pretty scary to like try and dart in and out because they do so much damage.
Right.
That was good though. There we go.
Yeah, I remember this game now. I think there's a little BM at the end.
All right. From which end?
Oh, from his. I'm a very honorable player.
Cool. Yeah, I think we should probably play a little bit more Roach Ravager heavy.
Right.
I don't know exactly what Snoot does though. Like, you could very well be right in saying that it's like he plays really Ling heavy, but. So you did actually go for the missile upgrades this time around as well, which is way stronger.
Right.
I like that you bypassed the planetary. Cool. I don't even know if you... Oh, my fault, that's all?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that meant.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, is that like a GG or... Alright, nice. I like how you like clicked return to game and then typed back. Because he already left.
Right.
But anyway, like definitely
I try to always GG out even if they don't, so.
Alrighty, cool. Yeah, so do you want to go ahead and play the build order once in like no opponent, or would you like me to like show you first? Like, I don't know what you find more
Maybe I'll try it. I just noticed the leagues reset.
Did they?
Yeah, at least in North America, because it's now offering me league placement, I think.
Oh no, that's because we're in a party. It's giving you 2v2 placement.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, I think it's starting on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay. I think probably best if I try it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, no worries. Yeah, some people prefer like seeing it once first, and you know that's all good. Could you give me the party lead back real quick?
Yes.
All right. So the basic idea of the build is to like set up a big economy off of 3 bases, at which point you can basically start making non-stop roaches. And the idea is that you defeat all kinds of timings that the Terran can do against you, but that you're still like getting the maximum amount of economy out of it. Now,
Okay.
the top level Zerg players get away with like a scary small amount of units. We're gonna add a couple more than that, because micros sometimes can be, you know, kind of annoying. But the maximum I think we'll go for is like 16 Zerglings or so. So like about as many Zerglings as you were making here initially, and then add in a couple of roaches, so maybe up to 5. But then off of those units, obviously within like the scouting limits, right? So if you see them move out, we're gonna start adding some more units in there. But ideally off of like only that, so off of like 16 Zerglings and like 5 roaches max, you want to drone up 3 bases completely. And then go for the same timing that we always went for in like Heart of the Swarm. It's just +1 attack for roaches, +1 armor for roaches, and roach speed.
Yep.
Yeah, the timing, like you don't need to like follow the build order like you know, to a T where you like do it exactly, but it's just a general idea that counts. Okay.
Okay.
So what we'll aim for is to try and max out relatively early on. So I don't exactly know what the timing was. I believe we tried doing this as like the greedy way possible, and I think it was like 7 minutes 8 seconds if you like skip all units. But as long as we max out before 8 minutes or so, I think we should be good.
Okay.
Does anyone in the chat know exactly what time you can max out with the +1/+1 roach speed with Solar's build? I don't know if there's any Zerg players watching that play that game all the time, but I'm trying to remember here. There was like a very specific number for it, but anyway, what we'll do, I'll just go ahead and talk you through the build real quick, and we can just pause at any moment and just go from there, okay?
Okay.
All right, it was 7:30. All right, cool. Here, a very easy Terran. I'm sure we can beat him.
Hopefully.
I think it was 7:15. Was it 8:30 or 7:30, guys? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe it's 8:30. Alrighty. All right. So we want to just go 13 Overlord, 17 Hatch, and you know, Hatch gas pool. The bot doesn't say anything. Dang it. Oh man, we get some complicated Overlord scouting. That's cool.
Yeah, I try to not send them into the actual base if it's versus Terran.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I
Fair enough. It feels terrible to lose your first your first Overlord. It's like, dang it.
Yeah.
What happened? All right, yeah. So we just go Hatch gas pool, and then the same like Zergling speed, and then pull the drones out of the Zergling or out of the gas guys. I believe you pulled only 1 drone out of gas, right?
Yeah, because I want to get Overlord speed.
Oh right, yeah, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Now the link that I sent you, or like the builder that I sent you, is like the exact one that that Solar goes for. You can definitely still open up 4 queens, just like we were doing here as well.
Okay.
Now the more interesting thing comes when you hit full saturation on 2 bases. So like in the game that you that we just watched, like in the 2 replays, you ended up going for a lair. Then what we're gonna do instead this time is we're gonna basically get the 3rd hatchery going immediately at that point, and then also get a roach warren as a follow-up. So it's like the timing is a little bit differently. Where the lair is gonna be about a minute later, but you're gonna get a lot more eco off of it. Very good. Let's cut a queen. Nice.
Should I pull 2 off gas?
Yeah,
or?
usually you pull 2 off.
Okay.
Nice. All right, and then like 31 on our Overlord.
Yeah, I often struggle with that one.
I noticed in the 2 games. Just like 31 Overlord is always good. There we go. And then you can make 2 more queens. All right, so basically after like 6 more workers in... oh, we do want to hit that inject, yep. There we go. After a couple more workers here, you want to start thinking about a third. So that's like way faster than you used to, right? You can already start thinking about it right now.
Okay.
And the idea is like... I guess real quick, right? Like a hatchery is basically an overlord and a queen in one. So like getting it a little earlier is not, you know, the biggest of deals. Right now I believe they used to give like 2 supply in Heartless form. Right now they give like 8. So it's still fine to get it like as an overlord time as well. Anyways, you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So after making a couple more workers, let's go. Yeah, no, you can write it right now. That's fine as well. All right. So when you put down the 3rd hatchery as well, you can start adding the drones back into the gas geyser, and then add on a roach warren too.
Okay.
All right, very cool. All right. At that point, you can add on a couple of Zerglings now that link speed has finished for like defense. So I'll probably go for like 1 round of links here. You should have a bunch of larvae left over, right? There we go. Yep. All right, cool. So when the roach warren finishes up, you make like, let's say 4 or 5 roaches. So we got to have overlords in preparation for that.
Right.
So we're probably going to need like 2. There we go. But you make a couple of roaches. And then when the roaches are building, like after you start up the roaches, you can go for a lair and then the evo chambers and then the gases. So basically the same thing that you were doing, except like we got the 3rd base in between.
Okay.
Okay, just start up the 3 roaches. Well, right about right now. There we go. And then you can drone up the 3rd base completely and add on like the gases and in your other bases. There we go. And get the lair going and the evo chambers and all that stuff. So basically, it's like the exact same thing. Now, the reason why it's... we'll go over that in just a second, actually. It's fine. Very good. Nice. All right, and then I'll the lair as well. Sorry. Yeah, so usually put the lair and the evos down at the same time, but it shouldn't make a big deal. All right. So I want to go ahead and drone up that 3rd completely. And this round of drones is usually units, right?
Right.
And you can start up +1/+1. Oh, you have a hotkey for it. Nice.
Yeah, I usually use 0 for that.
Nice.
And that's partly because I wasn't very good at doing the upgrades on time, so I figured if I have a hotkey for it, then at least it's easier.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's start up the gases in the 3rd as well. So we need and then before like starting up any like main part of the army, we want to make sure we have all the workers ready to go. Okay, so a couple more workers in that base. Very nice. Need a couple more in the natural.
Gold Zerg, Terran less than calling dibs on this student right here for first real game. Shout out to LowkoTV community, StarCraft 2 fans and just people who just enjoy smiling.
Alrighty. Want to start up the roach speed? And then we can start up the non-stop roach production. So notice like this is the same build as like in Heartless 1, right? Except that it's like a 3rd base in between. We need some overlords. Yeah, you can start making heavy overlords here. And if you like have still money left over, you can add on the 4th base as well. And then basically you move out right across the game, or right across the map, when your roach speed finishes up.
Right.
Now see, like when you're in a custom like this, you're like doing it just fine, right? You're you're easily dealing with it all. So
Well, plus it's an easy opponent.
yeah, of course. But you know, like this should be as like a sort of like a reference point, right? Whereas in like most cases, you still should be able to at least somewhat pull this off, even when it's like, you know, under pressure and all that. I know that's very difficult, but at least we have like, you know, something to aim for, I suppose. And like honestly, many of the games like Terran sit back until like 8 minutes or so. Yeah, I think it's 7:30 usually you're supposed to be maxed out with, but I mean, for a first attempt, this is looking really good. Really, really good.
Cool.
Alright, so roach speed is done. Let's move across the map. And that's really important as well, like to move right when roach speed finishes.
Would you make any Ravagers?
Yeah, usually you want to make about 8 or so. So like as many as you can right about right now. And then as a follow-up, you could, for example, drone up the 4th base. So though, because you just have minerals left over here, you know, like
Right.
you can drone it up. But it's really important that you hit them right in the face when these upgrades finish. Yeah, so someone in chat is asking like, hey, 8 minutes, isn't Hellions at like, oh, he's still right, I didn't even know that. So someone in chat is asking like, 8 minutes, isn't Hellions at like 5? Yeah, that's why we get the 16 Zerglings or so, and then like the 3 Roaches as well. So yeah, basically we want to try and execute this exact thing in, you know, the actual match too. If you manage to pull this off in Gold League, I'm sure this is going to be an easy peasy game.
A Raven.
Yeah, it's an easy AI, like... Well, there we go. Turns out the Ravens also die. Alright, cool. So basically the reason why we get the 3 Roaches, by the way, is so we can deal with, like, Hellions as well. But it takes 3 shots for Ravagers to kill 1, what's it called? Like, Liberator?
Liberator, yeah.
So that's the reason why you get the 3 Roaches. Like, in case all of a sudden Liberators come in, you can obviously just go ahead and add on extra Queens and all that. And maybe delay things a little bit, but... Like in worst case scenario, you add on a couple of Ravagers, and it should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah, cool.
Nice. I don't know if you have any questions about it or if it makes sense.
No, that does make sense. It's obviously easier when no one's harassing you.
yeah, exactly. But you know, I like that though. That was a good game.
Cool.
All right, so K2K Star just donated €5, and he really wants to play against you. He's a gold level Terran, so thank you very much, K2K. You didn't actually mention what your nickname was, man. I know you can't add a number in game, so I don't know what your nickname is, K2K. I'm gonna scroll down to the K. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong group. I'm not even in my own group, am I?
Does that mean that you're pimping me out?
I don't know, man. Maybe that is what it means. I'm not sure. He did it by himself, though. Like,
that's cool. I often lose to silver Terrans, so a gold Terran sounds perfect.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Loco, I'm a gold Terran. All right, K2K, if you could like mention what your nickname is in the chat, that'd be awesome. And I can actually go ahead and like invite you. Did the Ravens get nerfed? Ravens aren't getting nerfed, Janus. Well, they got nerfed in Legacy of the Void, but they haven't gotten a nerf in forever. Well, I thought for a second someone just said that in my group chat, but no, it's in the arcade chat. I remember once again why I oftentimes don't join public chat channels. K2K, you're not saying a word in the chat, dude. I'm just gonna, like, you know, you called dibs. I gave you dibs, but you're not online.
You can always get the second one.
Yeah, you can always get the second one, I suppose. Alright. Any map preferences?
No, not really. I usually try not to veto any maps just because I figured I should be able to play them all.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Even Arena.
I actually don't mind Arena too much. Like, it's a pretty terrible map, but like the games last so little, like such a short time that it's I practically forget about them.
Right.
I still don't like the map though, but yeah, Ghost got buffed very, very, very aggressively. They're pretty common right now in late games EVT, but Yeah, Liberators are getting nerfed by the way in the next patch, so we may see some slight changes, but the idea should still kind of... Alright. Stone, can you play a macro-focused game here? Wait a minute. Kapow! BRTH, thank you as well for hitting that subscribe button, man. Welcome. Thank you, man. K2K Star, I don't know what your nickname is, sir.
Oh, he just texted you now or chatted you now.
I was in the wrong channel, he says. All right, next one. Yeah. I'll invite him into the party and into the game, okay? So we can't forget about him. He paid good money for it. Yeah, Liberators are getting nerfed a little in the next patch, but...
How are they getting nerfed?
They're basically, you know, like they have like a bunch of range on their siege up, and you can upgrade that range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that range is getting reduced from 5 to 4, so that basically means that queens are gonna have... Like, the circle is gonna be just as big, but queens are gonna have a much easier time actually hitting them from multiple angles. And they don't have to, like, stand at the very outer edge.
Alright.
Anyway, Alright, he says, yes, I can play a macro focus game. Cool. Alright, you ready?
Yep.
Yeah, Liberators are pretty annoying. The one thing that I always dislike in particular about Liberators is how much easier it is to do the aggression than it is to defend it right now.
Right.
Like a Zerg, you need to do like 20 things to defend one.
As a Terran, you can like queue it up ahead of time and then just go back to your managing your base, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wait, the circle is getting smaller as well? Oh, shit.
Sweet.
Oh. Alrighty then, I'm not too worried about that then. I must have missed, like, okay, I didn't know that. I thought they were reducing the range of it. Interesting. Alright, thanks for pointing it out, guys. But, Ravagers are also getting nerfed, but let's not talk about that. Oh shit, the area is getting 35% less? That's huge. They're doing both? Wow, alright.
Yeah, that sounds a bit excessive.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get the Overlord.
Is it not on the way? Oh.
Nope. Let's just restart it real quick.
Okay.
Because otherwise you're just gonna like start off on the wrong foot and you're gonna be like, ah, fuck. I hate it when that happens. Now everyone's asking about the Ravager. Basically, they're reducing the, or like they're increasing the cooldown of the corrosive bile from like 10 seconds to 17, I believe.
That's a shame. I already find the cooldowns too long.
Yeah, I know. It's mostly because of Protoss, I think. For Terran, I think it's fine. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. Sorry,
Mr. Stone. I'll try and build my Overlord this time.
You clicked the button. I saw you select the larva, but it didn't go through. Alright. My dad just randomly decided to walk in and start bothering me.
Oh, Dad.
At least he's being really quiet about it nowadays, man. Alright.
There we go.
There we go. Maybe 14 seconds instead of 17. That's all good. Alrighty. Yeah, so we're going.
Weird.
Sorry?
I bet it would be weird going back to Heart of the Swarm now and sort of, because I was sort of sitting here just waiting. I'm sure in Heart of the Swarm there would be substantially more sort of waiting during that initial.
Yeah. It's really strange.
2 minutes.
It's like, wait, what did I actually do in like the first 2 minutes of the game? Like, what? I just sat here looking at my minerals. Now you were like microing drones and shit. Like, what?
Right.
All right. So I'll just talk you through the build again. So don't worry too much about it. Just try and focus on the you know, hitting with the biggest timing we can, okay?
Cool.
Alright, so we want to go hatch gas pool once again, yep. Now, he's going to play a macro-based style, so he probably won't be bothering you too much, but we're still going to, like, make the blind units anyway.
Makes sense.
Alright, very good.
See, normally now I would be following that SCV around to see if he builds a bunker or anything.
That's fine. Like, bunkers aren't that scary. If you wanted to, you can, though.
I think it's the cannon rushes they get me every once in a while now.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
everyone keeps saying that you can just nidus them, but I don't know. That usually doesn't seem to work out for me.
You have like 60% win rate in Surplus Protoss. You should be fine.
Yeah, I actually don't mind playing Protoss.
Yeah.
Every time I see it as a Protoss, I'm like, yes, I can do that.
Alright, let's pull the drones out and start making 2 sets of Zerglings. 2 sets are just there to deal with the Reaper. Cool. I like the way you hotkey those things. Those eggs is very solid. Alright, now we just drone up again. So 31 Overlord as well.
Thanks for the reminder.
Okay, so we found his base. Let's get that Overlord to safety. Okay, so while this is going on, just try and make sure you keep on like spending the larva, okay? Very good. Don't worry too much about the Reaper. Like, there's no reason to freak out about it. There you go. Even killed it. Sweet. Alright, let's add on the other queens as well. Oh, we actually forgot the Overlord. All good, all good.
Good job, Mr. Stone.
It doesn't matter though. Like, let's just hit the inject here. Maybe cancel one of that queen, and or like the queen in a natural, and then maybe go for the third base a little faster. Cool. Now we still want to be getting the fourth queen as well, but just as like you know, a way of spending the resources. Alrighty. So now you can also add on the Roach Warren. Add on the drones back into the gas geyser. Oh, I hit the queen injects in between as well. Very good. Get around the Zerglings. About that many is good. And then go ahead and start out the 2 more gases in the natural as well. Okay, and then a couple Overlords. Cool. Now, currently we do have vision of the front of his base. Normally you would always want to check for that. You can use those Zerglings right now if you want to. Yeah, exactly. Alright, very good. Okay, so Roach Warren is about to finish up. When the Roach Warren finishes, you want to start up a couple of Roaches. There we go. And then you want to start up the lair as well as the double Evos. Okay, and from here on out, we want to drone heavily. Overlords as well. Yeah, we're gonna need to make like 3 at a time right now. And let's add a queen over at the third base as well. Very good. Okay, so let's get +1/+1. Now he's got a starport out. At least that much we know. And let's keep on droning. Alright, let's set up the roach speed. And let's hit all of those queen injects, because we're actually missing quite a couple. Yeah, exactly. Alright, nice. So once we hit full saturation, and just check before you start making any units. Once we hit full saturation, yeah, we need a couple more here. Then you can start making actual army, okay?
Cool.
Okay, still want to keep on making overlords as well. You can actually get away with about 5 gases in total, by the way. But 6 is fine as well if you want to go more Ravager heavy. But... Okay. Alright, so right now, exactly. Let's hit the Queen Injects and start making non-stop army.
Yeah, Injects have been slipping.
Yep, that's fine. You've been spending the resources really well. Oh, that was the all army hotkey secretly.
Yeah.
Alright, what's that? Okay. Did he just do that?
Yeah.
Wow. Alright, let's just morph in an overseer. There we go. Just pull the drones out for now. And just replace whatever drones you lose. Should have a couple of transfuses on those queens available, so I think we're fine. There we go. Do we get the overseers over here? Very good. So don't freak out, like it's fine. That cost him a lot more than it cost you. Alright, so let's keep on making the roaches here, and we do want to move out for a timing once this like round of roaches finishes up, okay? So let's make as many as we can here. Yep. Cool. Okay. Just use the queen at the third base, if we still have the one over there.
They all went somewhere else.
Alright, all fine. Okay, so like while this is going on, right? Just like I don't want to like freak you out or anything while this is going on, but try and like focus on still keeping the macro up, okay? Because like in these sort of moments, you start flooding really heavily, and that's mostly because like missing injects and all that. But like try and pay attention to not like starting to flood really heavily and just keep on making units. Because constantly like there's basically this moment where you're just looking at the Banshee while not really doing anything else. And like while your queens are waddling over there, you can still be producing, you know? So that's like a little tip, I suppose. Try and like always be on the move. But anyways, let's start moving out across the map. We definitely can't just sit back here. We need to get something done here. So let's hit the queen injects as many as we can. And then add on a big round of roaches. And then morph in whatever ravages we can. Well, we got a couple, let's knock down the rocks while we wait, I suppose. But, okay. Okay, and keep on macroing here. Like, don't look at the fight only, but like keep on macroing. Exactly, that's good. Nice. Very good. Very nice. And just keep on moving. Let's just, yeah, get to his side of the map. Okay, a couple overlords. And let's morph up his natural, or move up his natural. Oh, we can snipe that tank easy. Okay. So we may need to micro a little here at home. Yep. That's fine, no? You can send those to the third or the main, you can choose. Okay, we have a transfuse. Oh well, there we go. Nice. Okay, and let's spend again. Nice. Oh, actually, one of the hatcheries isn't hotkeyed.
Oh, I made a macro hatchery.
Oh, right. Alright, cool. There we go. Okay, so in the meantime, you can start up +2/+2 infestation pits, spires, whatever you want. I think that may be one of the main things, to like be able to keep on going and not just like look at the battle, you know? Like it's very common for like, or it's like very obvious to get stuck at like one engagement. But while everything is going on, you can still just, you know, macro more units out. And oftentimes that's really the reason why you're winning fights, right? Where, whereas like just looking at the you know, aggression isn't gonna achieve much, but you can look and like macro at the same time. Anyway, he is getting his 1 second or like his 2 minutes of fame, I suppose. After bad mannering, mule dropping, and still losing the match, he's gonna just lift the buildings. But anyway, point being, definitely well played right there, right? Like a very, very solid game. I don't know, like, yeah, just you know, end them, I suppose, whenever you want to. But I don't know if you have any questions about this at all, like, or if you have any.
No, it was pretty good. Obviously, I probably could have dealt with the Banshees a bit better.
Ah, that's okay, man. Like, there's this guy screaming in your ear, and there's like, I don't know, several hundred people watching. Like, I understand that it's happening, and that's fine, right? General thing, I guess, to take away from that is like, try and not get freaked out about the you know, the engagements and like the fights, and let's try and you know, stay calm while you're defending against units, and just try and stay rational, I suppose. Like, it's easy to freak out about a couple units heading in your main, but
yeah, and I think definitely, like, when stuff like that happens, that throws me off enough. Like, if I was planning an attack, like, that probably could throw me off enough that I might not even go for the attack, right?
Right.
Which is probably the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, probably. Or at least, like, set up another timing, so maybe sit back, wait for 2-2 to finish, but at least, like, get something going, so you don't get, like, in that like, moment where you don't feel like you have anything going for you anymore, right? Because you notice, like, even though you ended up losing a lot of workers, like, we can have a quick look at the replay. You were still really far ahead. And, like, you know, obviously we can talk about things like creep spreading and whatnot, but I think in its very basis, if you focus on this, you should be just fine. I mean, considering that's the first time you're playing a new build against a, you know, a player that, or like you know, against someone, like an actual player, that went really well.
Right. Cool.
All right, so we'll just cruise through the replay real quick. Yeah, you can go for some blind spore crawlers as well if you want to. I don't really think it's worth it most of the time, but if you feel like it, you can add them on as well.
I often struggle with drops, so I actually end up often building a lot of spores just to sort of try and stop that from happening.
All right. What we can do, I don't know the exact timing that you should go for blind spores at then, but in Zerg vs Protoss, I don't know if you're getting those, but like 4 minutes is really standard for spores.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can figure out a timing as well that would be good in Zerg vs Terran. Let's see. I think it's right when you start heavily droning up. So like after making the couple of roaches, I think that would probably be a good moment to add on the blind spores. Let's see,
right.
Maybe like 5 minutes or so. I think that's fine. Like, that might actually help you out a lot more.
Yeah. Also, like, it helps against liberators too.
Yeah, I think it's actually fine. Yeah, so probably right about right now, right? So let's say, I don't know, 5-ish minutes, okay? I'll just write it down as 5 minutes.
Right.
5 minutes, blind spores. Yeah, 4 minutes is good against Zerg vs Protoss, guys, but I think versus Terran you can probably get away with a little bit later. 420. 420 is easy to remember at least, but I think this is fine. Yeah, like heavy drop play doesn't really happen until that moment anyway, and 4 Queens should be able to deal with most other aggression early on. If they're going heavy cloak, it's okay to lose a couple. Like if they go banshees with cloak, it's okay to lose a couple of banshee or a couple of drones, just because you know they're invested
a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. Like they invest so much time as well. They cut out like third bases and everything to get that out. So
yeah.
But yeah, like basically start being annoying, right? And at this point, you've basically macroed perfectly, like not missing a beat here. I mean, except for a couple queen injects, but that's like. Yeah. You know, you're still spending, right? You're not like flooding minerals. So the first bit of annoying is right here, right?
Right.
Where he's taking his time to shine and drops a couple of mules as well for no apparent reason. I'm not sure. Anyway, so like, let's just have a look at the amount of resource you get, okay? So I understand like it's gonna flood a little bit, but just like pointing it out and not like rubbing it in or whatever, but just like pointing it out. You do have like the tendency to just sort of look at this thing and be like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
Yep.
And You know, like, I think you can, like, you have a lot of, like, idle larvae right now, right? I think you can probably just follow this up with more roaches or, like, you know, +2/+2, or at least get something going. Like, that's just a matter of being aware of it, though, so... yeah. Just try and, next time you're in that mode, I suppose, where you, like, you know, have to deal with this crisis, just try and, you know, stay a bit calm, I suppose, and not, like, get too over eager of, like, you know, forgetting everything.
Right.
There we go. So even though that all happened, right, you're still 30 supply up.
Yep.
That's a lot. I like the macro hatch, and now, yeah, just going back to macro mode. Now, I was wondering if you would normally consider moving out right about this time. So basically, the timing that we went for right here, we kind of missed the +1/+1 attack. But then the next timing would be, like, right after spending most of the resources. You know, like, it still technically would be a +1/+1 timing. It's just a little bit later. I don't know if you would ever consider moving out at this point yourself, or if you feel like...
Normally not, no.
Okay, yeah.
So that's probably a good change.
Yeah, I think like, even if you just, like, buy a little bit, right? Let's say you're under attack, and your opponent is, like, you know, delaying his tech in order to get that aggression out. I think it's fine to delay the timing attack a little as well.
Yeah.
Just because it will, you know, make it, you know, it will still be really strong. Either way, though, like, imagine if you would have been able to spend those 2,000 minerals and those 1,500 gas right now, you would be maxed out pretty much, right? And you would just roll over. So, like, that just comes down to the queen injects, which is, you know, something that I'm sure you can figure out when there's not, like, you know, a lot of stress.
Yeah.
All good, though. Yeah, so here we go. So while this is going on, once again, like, we're flooding pretty heavily until I point out, like, hey, you should really try and macro while this is going on. And at that point, like, you just roll over him, right? Yeah, in general, really well played. I don't think there's anything in particular that's, like, worth discussing other than, like, I guess practice a little bit, like, practice a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we can maybe play another game or two.
Sounds good. Yeah, I hate it when they start floating away their buildings.
Yeah, I don't know. The higher up the ladder you go, the least often it happens. Like, we get it every now and then on stream as well. I like your response of immediately putting down a spire. It's like, oh my god, this fucking shit again.
Yeah, something else I've found is, at least in Gold League on North America, basically anyone who plays random, it's like 99% sure it's going to be some kind of cheese.
Dude, my experience with the North American ladder is mostly cheese anyway. I mean, it's also true on EU, but it's in particular as well on NA. Apparently, like, the Korean server is the most cheesy of all.
I guess they want to grind through those games really fast.
Yep. Apparently, like, the first thing foreigners learn when they go there is how to defend every variety of cheese. Like, they play to end the game right now, right? Like, no.
Right. Yeah.
No holding back. Yeah, do you want to play against someone who macros, or do you want to play a more of an aggressive style? I mean, it's up to you. Like, I guess this guy previously didn't play, like, super macro heavy, but...
Right. Maybe let's try another macro one.
Alright.
But if he wants to, he can throw in a couple of drops.
Yeah, sure. What we'll add in this particular one is, we'll do the same thing as well. But this time around, we'll add in the spores at 5 minutes, okay?
Cool.
Which I think is, you know, something that's totally fine right now. I don't know, let's go big map. Ruins of Saras.
So how are you enjoying the new car?
Dude, I'm not actually gonna have it until the 5th.
Oh, okay.
They're making it, like, it's called, like, making it drive ready or whatever.
Oh, so you're buying a brand new car?
No, I'm not actually buying a brand new, but I'm buying it from a dealer.
Oh, okay.
So basically, they're still, like, polishing it up and, like, changing the what's it called? Like, the like, you know, the things that sit on the wheel. I don't know, like, the plastic outside things. Yeah, I don't know what they're called.
Hubcaps?
Yeah, like the caps.
Yeah, I'm not really
like
a car person.
Yeah, no, me neither. But basically, they're just making it drive ready, and normally it's supposed to take a couple days, but they had like 20 more to do, so I was like, ah, fuck. All right, fine. I have to wait. Yeah, and it needs to like register and all my name and all that, but.
I'm not. Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say I'm not in the game. Well, congratulations on your first car.
Thanks, man. I'm actually really excited for it, but yeah, we're gonna have to wait like 9 days or so. It's fine. Cool. All right, let's do the same thing. Let's try again.
Okay. Go.
Lowko, I'm a mechanic / state inspector, and hearing them talk about that was hilarious.
I'm sure. I have some friends who are really into cars, and they just shake their head at me. I'm just like, they ask me like, "Oh, what kind of car do you buy?" I'm like, "Oh, it's like a red one."
It like drives you from A to B, you know, like.
Yeah, I've got some friends, like, they can see a car at night. All they can see is the headlights, and they can tell you what kind of car it is, which is just crazy to me.
All right, yeah, okay. Now, I actually know most car brands and all that, and I think I would be relatively okay with that, but I don't know. Yeah. Like, in the US, they drive completely different cars than over here anyway.
Yeah.
Basically, if you don't drive a pickup, it's like, you know, not worth looking at, right? Like
That's pretty true. In most of the country, it's maybe a little less true around here.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's actually a lot of Priuses and stuff.
All right, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the highway in California has been quite the experience as like a European. It's like, why are there 8 lanes? Like, what's going on?
I know. Like when you get to those areas where highways meet, and there's like 16 off ramps, and they're all sort of curling around each other.
It's a mess, crazy. Man. Like.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Norway, so I'm used to much smaller roads.
Oh, right.
So it's quite a big change for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, let's add in the gas.
Oh yeah, good call. I was waiting to build my overlord.
Oh well, fair enough. Let's make the spawning pool first, and then you can make it. All right. All right, and the overlord. Yeah, so 19, 23-ish, and then like 31. That should be relatively standard.
Right.
Now you got the entire chat talking about cars, man.
Oh, no.
No, that's cool. Apparently, Janus drives something that costs him $1,500 a month, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
That is pointless. I mean, not to judge Janus, but that's a pretty pointless amount of money spent, man, on a car. $1,500 a month. I guess at some point you have so much money you don't know what to do with it, right? Alright, let's make 2 sets of Zerglings just in case of like Reaper play. Yep. Oh, he's just driving a bike. He's joking, I guess. Alright, then another overlord. There we go. And now we can just drone up. Alright. So once you have the minerals for it, let's just add on the extra queens as well, and then go for the 3rd base. There we go. Yeah, so usually you can queue them up, but here you can go for the 3rd base as well. Nice. So, I would really like to have like 1 Zergling at the front right now, or at least like something spotting his front base, because if he would move out, he could just bypass us completely, right? So maybe 1 right there and then 1 at the watchtower or something, just to have some vision. I think that would be really beneficial.
I'm not sure which watchtower you meant.
I meant the one close to his, like close to the middle of his side, but it's fine. Like, at least have some vision of stuff moving at. Okay. Let's keep on the droning, and then we probably also want to add a roach one right now. Yep. Okay, good.
Oops.
Okay. So we can add on the... actually, we don't need to add on the lair yet, sorry. We can add on a couple Zerglings here for safety. Link speed is done. Yeah, you can add on more. You can add on like the entire row, I suppose, but... Oh, good. Alright, so Roach Warren's about to finish up. We want to make a couple of roaches then. And you can probably already start adding the drones back in the gas and whatnot. Okay, so a couple roaches for safety. There we go. And then you want to start adding on the lair very soon as you can, and the Evo chambers and the double gas. Yeah, there's two hatcheries on the hotkey. There we go. Okay. Okay, looks like he's moving back. Well spotted. Let's set up the lair. And now ideally we just want to start up droning heavily. Okay. Let's keep on droning. Do we have an or a queen at the third? Yeah, we do really need to like... Alright, there we go. Okay, let's start up +1/+1 as soon as we can. Actually, we're gonna need to wait for saturating the gases in the natural. There we go. Okay. So this feels really greedy, right? To drone up here.
Very.
I would probably replace the Zergling at the front as soon as you can. Like, having that Zergling at the front is really, really helpful. I'm always looking at the minimap whenever there's like downtime. Just to figure out like what's going on, right? Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot about that. Oh, we need to add those drones in the gas in the main. Okay. So we really do want to start spending those minerals. There we go. That's it. Alright, cool. Oh, actually, I thought those were drones. Alright, whatever. Let's start up the... we really want to start up the roach speed and the +1 attack first. Like, we still haven't started up the +1 armor. There we go. And then roach speed. So, like, before you make a big round of drones, units, always try and look at the amount of saturation you have first, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So, if you wanna, you can probably add on the gases in the fourth or the third as well, and maybe even go for a fourth hatchery already, because we have a lot of extra minerals. Alright, first off, full saturation. There we go. Nice. Alright. So now we're done droning. Now we're definitely done droning off this basis.
Okay.
And now it's just a matter of making non-stop roaches. Okay. Let's keep the production high. There we go. And if you have some leftover gas, you can always add on some Ravagers right now already.
Yeah.
Be useful. I wouldn't like spend all the gas, but like just so you can keep on the production, you know? So ideally, like we have minerals and gas close to 0 at all times. Which should be fine. Like, should be possible off of this. Alright, so Queen Inject's really important once again. Okay, and +1 and +1 is about to finish up. Roach speed is about to finish up as well, so we should probably start moving across the map. Right, okay, let's go. I found a Terran player in the chat, man. It's amusing how how spamming roaches is so powerful. It's not so much about spamming roaches, it's about like hitting a proper timing with roaches. That's the main goal here. While still playing safe. Well, that one's dead. Alright, let's get moving. Okay, well, you're gonna need to blend some biles. I don't know if you saw it. I guess not.
We're forging ahead.
Alright, it's fine. Okay, so keep on producing. Once again, keep on producing here. Cool. We have a lot of larvae. Just hold down the button. Yep. And then in the meantime, do a quick Queen Inject round. It takes like 2 seconds. There we go. Alright, and in the meantime, like if you want to set up a transition, you can go towards Hive, you can go to +2 attack, you can do many things, but...
Yeah, so I think I kind of already started +2.
Yep. Oh right, I didn't even realize that. I keep forgetting you have the hotkey for it. I didn't see you check the... wasn't looking at the production tab, but I keep forgetting you have the hotkey for it. That's nice. I didn't see you go back to the main to click the buildings. Well, here you go, man. Like, if you play like this, it's relatively straightforward. And obviously, they're letting you do whatever the fuck you please, right? But long story short, like, you should be able to execute this mostly as well, if they're, like, going for aggression to you, right? It's just a matter of, like, being aware of, like, the fact that oftentimes you do get caught with a lot of minerals and gas when they're playing aggressive. Like, when that Banshee came in, immediately, like, all of the macro went out of the door, right? Just be aware of, like, that is, like, happening. And I think if you manage to focus on that, should be pretty easy, man. Like, you're rolling over them, at least so far. Like, it's really nice.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Like, this is, like, the second game you're playing, and it's already looking a lot smoother than the first one, right?
Yeah, no, but it feels really strange to drone so heavily, being so greedy.
Yeah. That's why that Zergling at the front is so important, because let's say he's going with like a stimpack timing, right? And all of a sudden see a bunch of Marines and Marauders march across. You need to be aware of that right as it moves out, not when it's like close to your creep, right? Because then you can still respond with more Roaches.
Yeah.
But yeah, like having that Zergling close to his base, like you're probably gonna lose a couple games where you forget to put the Zergling close to his base and like, god damn it, like I wanted to have that thing, but anyway, like let's see what K-Star was playing at. Yeah, he's also Gold League he is actually top 8 gold.
Cool.
Yeah, well played. Yeah, the Queen injects are the Queens are wandering quite a bit. I'm thinking use the backspace method to inject really quickly, right?
Yeah.
I think it's okay if you want to start incorporating the camera hotkeys. It would be really beneficial for your like Queen injects.
Right.
Just because you can actually hit F1, like for example F1 or whatever you want to bound to, and just select the Queen and hit the Queen individually on each hatchery. It's like it takes a little bit more APM, but it's technically a lot more accurate.
Right.
So that's something you might want to consider as well. I don't know how you feel like in other matchups as well. I can imagine if you adjust like this ZVZ and whatnot, it gets really tricky. Especially early game. If you miss like 2 injects in ZVZ, it's basically game over if they like start making links.
Yeah, if they start wandering. And the fact that you could queue up injects, I think, was sort of a disadvantage to me.
Yeah.
Because normally they would just sort of inject the one closest to them and they'd be done, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
But now, because I sort of spam through the bases, if they've got extra energy, they'll start wandering to the other one to inject.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you may want to start incorporating that, like the camera hotkeys. I don't know if you mentioned that you don't play with them right now. Have you ever played with them, or you have like you just don't like them?
I haven't. I just haven't. No.
All right. Yeah, so maybe start using them. So yeah, so you basically want to have I have shift plus F1 to F4 for the bases, like basically create the hotkey.
Yeah.
And then F1 to F4 to jump to the hotkey. It takes some getting used to, but I think you could probably use it quite a bit to get better at the Queen injects as well, and like maybe have some more control over that. I find it really easy to like clean up drops as well, but it's gonna take you some getting used to. So probably try and figure out this build first, and like take it like, you know, as a step at a time, I suppose.
Yeah.
But those are kind of things that will help out in general. Anyway, you can definitely get I've heard plenty of people get to like masters without using camera hotkeys and all that shit. So.
Right.
Or like.
Should we try? Do you have time for one more?
Yeah, let's play one more. Let's play more. Yep. I was just looking at a map. Let's go Ruins of Stars again. Or Lateral Crest, sorry. You lost your last 36 games, Furiously Angry? How did that happen, man? How can you lose 36 games in a row?
Oh, that's a bad streak.
Yeah. I lost like 8 in a row the other day, man. I got pissed. Alright. Oh, this map is going to be replaced. Whatever, man. It's just practice. The thing applies to every map. Alrighty. So I'll try and comment a little bit less on it. If you have any questions, just feel free to pause the game or whatever.
Okay.
Or like, you know, if there's anything in particular you're wondering about.
Yeah. I'll try and stick to the build.
Yeah, like maybe you're running into something you were curious about when you're trying to do it yourself. What? Oh, there we go. We got a heart for StarCraft 2. LowkoTV agree that drones need a speed upgrade like Zerglings and Roaches. Yeah, man. Make them mine twice as fast. We'll go for it. I mean, Terran's got Mule. Like, you know. I would like a Mule.
They could add like a temporary speed boost to a drone.
How imba would that be? Just hotkey all drones and press the button to get extra income? Damn.
It's like a stim pack for drones.
Yeah, Mules are pretty good units. Design-wise, they're not the greatest thing, but... Stim drones, yeah, man. That'd be pretty crazy. Anything stim, really. Like stim roaches, stim ultras, like, well, I'll take it all, man. Technically speaking, melee upgrades should make drones mine faster. I guess that's true. They benefit from melee upgrades, right? So imagine that if like +1 attack would make the drones mine slightly faster. That's one way to kill roach builds. Alright. Ooh. What's this? So I don't know how you would read that situation, right? You saw that second barracks. How would you... Hold on, one sec. How would you, like... What would you assume right now Terran's going for? I don't know if you, like, immediately have an idea in your head, or if you're like, oh, fuck, I have no clue.
Well, I mean, obviously it's going to be... I would imagine a lot of Marines. So... I would also imagine that there might be a little bit more... It's slightly more aggressive, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he has a second... At least he hasn't started building a command center in place. He might be building it inside his base. But... And then the thing I'm really bad at is when there's add-ons. Like when I see an add-on, it doesn't give me any information. Right now, like I see he's building an add-on, I would probably click on it and I would go, huh, okay, that's a tech lab, or huh, that's a reactor, but it sort of doesn't mean anything to me.
All right, yeah. So in this case, it's a reactor. I'll click on it for you, right?
Okay.
In this case, it's a reactor. Now, normally, if you see a reactor this early, it is going to be something like Hellions, right? That's really common to see a switch over with the factory. And they start producing Hellions. Now, in this case, though, he can't go Hellions this quickly because he already got the second barracks down as well. So he like invested into that already.
Right.
So it's actually pretty difficult to say exactly what's going on right now. But just be aware of the fact that you probably are going to need some sort of early game defense. And that you're going to need to scout really heavily with those Zerglings we talked about, right? We need to figure out what's happening here. Because either way, like we need to make sure that we see... whatever he's going for coming out in time, all right?
Right.
So that's the main thing. Like, even though you may not be completely aware of what's going on here, or like, you know, you may be confused about what you're seeing, just keep making sure you scout here. Like, if you see something unconventional, for sure.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Okay. I would always make at least 2 sets of Zerglings here, just for scouting as well. Yeah, very good. Now, one other thing it could also be is heavy Reaper play. A little more uncommon, but in that case, we definitely do want to have the extra queens out as soon as possible.
Right.
And then the Overlord as well, 31. Or 34, I guess this will be. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's add on the queens. Okay, and another Overlord as well. Oh, what's that? Reapers. Alright. So we need to start making Zerglings, exactly. We need to make sure we get as many Zerglings out as possible, and Queens as well. So, Queens do really well. In this case, you might even want to go up to like 8, okay? So as many Queens as possible. Looks like it's going for Reactor Reaper, which is something I've never said in that combination of words. Alright, if you can bait them on creep, exactly. Ooh, could have had us around there, I think. Good, good pullback. Okay, very nice. Alright, now you can get him, I think.
Slippery.
Oh, yeah. They're looped up, man. Okay. So if you can, try and go for the third base as a follow-up still, and still put up the Roach Warren as well. I know it's gonna be kind of like a hassle, but try and like stay in the same macro mode, so to say. Very good. Okay. No, there you go. We dealt with it. Yay. I mean, you still got him, obviously, but you may move out right now with the Zerglings as well, just to see what's going on. Like, he may have gone for expansion on the low ground. You could probably do a bunch of damage with that. Just don't sacrifice him. Oh, well, there you go. The lucky's around. Nice. Alright, let's make some Overlords. And then just go back to the same old strategy, okay? Let's just make a couple of Roaches, then in a little bit, the Lair, and all that. Oh, or you may just win the game right now, that works as well. Okay, so a couple Roaches. There we go. Then want to add on the extra gases, as well as the Lair, as well as the Evo Chambers. So you probably want to go 4 gas immediately here, yeah. Okay, and saturate that last gas in the bottom one in the natural as well. The bottom one. Yep, that one. Alright, cool. Let's add on the Lair and the Evo Chambers. So basically, you switch into the same strategy, right? Instead of like trying to take a risk like, oh, I might be able to finish off the game here. Just go back to the strategy you already had planned. It's really easy to be like, oh god, I can win now, let's go, murder. Like, you know, but oftentimes, like, at least in my experience, that's the way you can easily lose games and it feels terrible. Yeah, just for your information, I guess, you're practically tripling in the supply now. So, you know,
right.
It's pretty straightforward. But, yeah, I like the Ling at the front, by the way. Really helpful. Might want to add one at the Watchtower and maybe one along the way as well, just if you have, like, the time in between, but... Exactly. Very good. Alrighty. So, +1 attack, +1 armor. Let's check the saturation real quick. Okay, we need a couple more there. Now we can start making army. Cool. Okay, roach speed as well, by the way.
Oh.
No, just finished up. Okay. So, at this point, you can just start making non-stop army and just push out when +1/+1 finishes. And technically speaking, like, you know, if you play like this, it's easy peasy. Like, just maybe add on the extra gases in the third and go for, like, you know, expansions whenever you feel like it. By the way, if you rally drones into an extractor that's not building yet, like, so basically you queue up the building, but you don't rally the unit straight into the unit, into the building, they're like always gonna hang outside. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like sometimes they hang on the outside. They're always gonna be idle.
Is it because I rallied them before it started building?
Yeah, exactly. So if you rally them after they started building, like that guy's not gonna win. See, like it's kind of like a weird like bug that's been around since I don't know ever. All right, let's keep on the macro though.
Sorry. I definitely find that happening.
Yeah. Just wanted to point it out because I saw you had it a couple times. Alright, so +1/+1. Keep an eye out on it. See when it finishes up. Alright. Roach beat as well. Should be finishing up roughly the same time. And just get moving. Okay, we should have a lot of larvae here as well. There we go. Alright, let's get moving across the map. Might want to morph in a couple of Ravagers and go for a fort base as a follow-up. Oh no, no, go on, yeah. Alright. And just go. +1/+1 finishing up. Mutations complete. Ooh, the juicy biles. Look how much shit you got compared to him. Alright, you have 6 times his supply, I believe you. Alright, very nice, man. Very well done.
Cool. That was sweet.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I guess it comes down to, like, be a bit more greedier in economy and don't freak out when you're under pressure. That's basically what happens, man. Like, very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was top 8 gold, right? That's you know.
Yeah, no, that felt good.
Nice.
Not sort of the feeling I usually go into Terran games with.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I don't know if you have any questions, man. I think you can go from here.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously my games usually go into the late game, so that's usually where sometimes I struggle, like if they're really turtling up.
Right.
I was playing versus Protoss the other day, and he went Mothership Mass Void Ray, and I know you recently did a video showing how to beat that, but I did not do as well as you did.
Right. If they go Mass Void Ray, yeah, like Corrupted Queen is where it's at. It's definitely more tricky once they get heavy late game in Zerg vs Protoss.
Yeah, he was basically maxed out with like 1 Mothership, and the rest of it was Void Rays and then drones.
Yeah, exactly.
Or probes, I guess.
Yeah. Usually, the one thing to keep in mind about that is like the same if they turtle up with Terran, is that they don't plan on moving out usually until much later into the game. So you can take more than 3, 4, 5 bases. Like you can take however many bases you want.
Yeah, I think that's where I usually I don't do that, right? Like I don't start expanding everywhere immediately.
Yeah, you don't have to expand everywhere, but like if you have 10 gases going against 6 or 8 gas, you can just reinforce your army really easily.
Yeah, and I think often I don't start teching up fast enough. So like often when he moves out, I'm still on like Roach Hydra, right?
Right. Yeah. So basically, how it would go? Let's say you don't kill him with the +1/+1, right? You start a +2/+2, and you can do a push out when that finishes as well. Now, at the very latest, you start transitioning towards a hive when 2/2 finishes up. So let's say like you move across the map when 2/2 finishes. That is where you put down the infestation pit and spire and all that shit and go up to a hive. That would be probably roughly 10 minutes into the game at latest.
Yeah, because probably what I'm going to meet, usually what I see then, if they're turtling, is like a wall of cannons, at which point I usually back off.
Right. Yeah, it really depends on the situation. Like, if it's 3 base cannons, probably can just push through. Yeah, that's hard to call, right? There's no real solid answer. If they're turtling heavily, Brute Lord is always good. Like, Brute Lord Queen, it seems to be one of the best comps in the game right now.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like 4 or 5 Brute Lords, they just chip away, right?
That's cool.
Anyway, man, like as always, if you have questions, just let me know on Skype. I'd love to help out.
Thank you. That was great.
Yeah, thank you very much as well. I'll go ahead and like send these notes to the email that I already have open right here.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, that'd be cool. There we go.
Yeah, and thanks to if they're on the stream, thanks to the guys who played me.
Yeah, indeed, guys. Thank you very much. Dang, can't find the email address. Should be here. It's the Gmail one, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty. Nice, man. Let me know how things go, and yeah, let me know if you run into something, or if you get promoted, or if you like, you know, feel terrible, or.
I will do. I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll try and stick to the build.
All right, man. Are you okay, by the way, if I would upload this to YouTube?
That's fine. Please go ahead.
All right, man. Awesome. Thank you very much, and yeah, keep me in the loop, dude.
Yeah, will do. Enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.